Today we are going to be adjusting the ignition timing on a 1992 Mazda Miata with a 1.6 liter engine. I've never done this before, but I have done a lot of reading, and the first step to do so is to find the marking on the crankshaft pulley and to make sure to mark it with whiteout so you can see it better with the timing light. Here I have a light showing the crankshaft pulley. I know it's a little bit hard to see. There we have the markings for the timing. Right where we want to be is at 10 degrees. Right there, the big line pointing to 10 degrees. As you can see right now, you can't see the markings, so I'm going to crank it over a couple of times until I get to the actual notch on a pulley. Okay, I just finished cranking the engine over a couple times with the help of my wife. So you might need, well, it actually will be easier to have someone else crank it while you look at the notch, because it's pretty small and hard to find. So you can see the notch, it is, let's see if I can get my hand in there. It is right there. Right there's a notch, and I actually use some whiteout to mark it, that way we can see it better. Okay, the next step is to make sure that the car, it is operating at its operating temperature. As you can see right now, it is not. Right now it's cold, so it's warming up. As you can see that the revs are a little bit high. You want the revs to be at about 850 RPMs. Right now we're right about 1,000. The first 1,000 is divided by 3 sections, so you want to be in about the middle or a little bit more above the middle of the last third of the RPM before it hits 1. And of course, make sure the temperature is at its regular temperature. It's usually close to half of the gauge. So I'll wait right here until it gets operating temperature. We'll continue. Okay, so the car has been idling for a couple of minutes. Now, as you can see, the RPMs are right where we want it, and the temperature is right where we wanted it as well. So now that we have the car warmed up to its operating temperature, then now we can proceed to the next step. Okay, so the next step involves us finding the diagnostic port, which is on the driver's side of the car, and we're going to insert a paper clip or whatever you can find, piece of wire, into the ground and 10 port that it has. The diagnostic little cap that we're looking for is right here. As you can see, it has diagnostic written on it for easy identification. Right, so what we're going to do, open this up. A little bit hard doing it all at once. I have my little paper clip all ready. Okay, let's see. So the ground is this one, and the 10 is this one up here. So we're gonna make the connection right there while the engine's running. There we go. What this does, it puts the computer in the mode that we want it to adjust the timing. Now, the RPMs might go down somewhat, so let's double check to make sure we're still good. As you can see, we are right about the 660 RPM. So you want to be a little bit higher, so we can go and adjust that. Now, also to note, before I didn't mention this, is when you're doing this, make sure you don't have any accessories on, like your AC, your main headlights, or anything like that. You don't want it to be on, because you want the RPMs to be steady and not be not being adjusted by anything else like the accessories. Okay, so we're gonna adjust the RPMs just a little bit more, and I'll show you how to do that. Okay, so the idle adjustment is easy. It's from the engine, so you can see the entire engine. It's right on the intake manifold, right there. That little black cap is what we need to remove, and it'll have a screw there to where we can adjust the idle speed, idle RPMs. Alright, so I removed that black cap covering it, and with a flathead screwdriver, I'm going to adjust the idle RPM. Okay, so I'm done adjusting it. I went counterclockwise, and now that we're done, put the little cap back on, and we're going to go back into the tach to make sure it's idling at the right RPM. Okay, so back inside the car, now we can see that we are right where we want to be. Alright, our next step is to connect our timing gun. Now if you are looking for a timing gun, I would suggest to look on the internet for some good deals. I got this timing gun for $15 off of Craigslist. Alright, since the Miata has the battery in the trunk, they have provided us with a good handy plug where we can get power for the timing light. It is located right here on the driver's side, in between the headlight and the actual diagnostic port. It is this blue clip right here, and it has one prong. Mine is just like this. Some might have a cap on it, so if yours has a cap, just remove it. And this is where we will connect our power source for the timing gun, and of course the other lead will connect it to a ground source. Okay, so I finished connecting the timing light. As you can see, I placed the power source, grabbing that little clip right there. Ground I grabbed from a bolt that's attached to the chassis of the car. I then connected the other lead, the signal lead, to the number one piston, which is the one closest to the front of the car. So we have everything connected. Next is to check the timing. Alright, so I'm going to start shooting light. As you can see, there's my marking, and we are about 14 degrees instead of our desired 10. Okay, so we need to adjust that. We want that line, that marking that we did with the whiteout, to be right on that big line pointing to the number 10. Okay, to adjust our timing, we're gonna have to move the cam angle sensor, which is on the rear of the valve cover on the Miata. So here it is right there. That is the bolt that we will loosen up so we can adjust it. Let me go back so you guys can see where it's located. It's right there. So I've loosened this bolt with a 12mm wrench, and now we're going to be pushing on the sensor so we can then adjust the timing. Just do a little bit at a time. Alright, so I moved the cam angle sensor counterclockwise at first, and that actually added more timing. So I went back clockwise until we removed timing, because we were about 14 degrees. We want to be at 10. Alright, so now check the timing again. We are right at 10 degrees, right where we want to be. Alright, so I just finished tightening the adjusting bolt with a 12mm wrench. So now we'll just go and double check, make sure the timing didn't move. And we are still on the dot, so we are good. So now we'll disconnect back the paper clip that we used. Nope. Close this up. We'll double check the idle RPMs. Alright, here we are. It's still idling just perfect on the RPMs. Temperature's good. And that is how you adjust the timing on a 1992 Miata.